the other end of the pitch, this is something we've not really spoken about recently. It's the goalkeeper situation. So of course Neto has gone back to Bournemouth, so it's now just Raya and a few teenagers behind him. Arsenal have been linked, or they'll most likely try to sign a new number two this summer. Joan Garcia of Espanyol has been the main contender, it seems, although he seems to be in quite high demand. I mean, there was talk of Barcelona, but I think on Monday night it was claimed that a move there was unlikely. So with Juan Garcia, is he someone that Arsenal really need to try to attack and get done as soon as they can?
Yeah, because it sounds like, as you said, the interest is really mounting him. He's had a fantastic season in Spain. They stayed up as well, which was good for them, but good for him. And you're kind of looking around at the moment, and there could well be a few sort of goalkeeper moves happening. Aston Villa, it was pretty clear that Emi Martinez has played his last game for Aston Villa, given the tears that he was in the other day when he was leaving Villa Park. So I think it looks like he's heading off somewhere. So they're going to need a goalkeeper, and Unai Emery and Monchi certainly know the Spanish market very, very well. And there's strong reports that they like him. Newcastle said to be in the running for him as well. And the issue Arsenal have when it comes to Garcia, although they've put on an awful lot of groundwork for him, and he was really keen on making the move last summer. And by all accounts, I think he is still keen to come here now, but it is going to be a tougher sell because he's going to be coming in not as number one as a number two goalkeeper. So, when you come off the season that he's just had in Spain, when so many clubs are in for him and you're not offering him the number one spot, it's probably going to be very hard to get a deal done. I thought it was interesting that Barcelona were keen on signing him and then loaning him out again straight away for a season. I was just wondering if that's something Arsenal could potentially do. They've got Karl Hein coming back, who, performed in the Liga last season. Pretty much every single game, I think he made every single appearance he possibly could there. And I know they struggled and went down, but I think he had a decent enough season himself for some of the saves he was making. Could you bring Karl Hein back and give him a season as number two and let Garcia go out and continue to play somewhere else? Kind of like what Liverpool have done with Mamamash Dilly. I can always get his name wrong. But they've done that with him. So maybe that's an option for Arsenal, but I think it feels like a tougher job for them to get that deal done this summer than it did last summer, just because of the sheer amount of rival interest they're going to have in him.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I completely forgot about Karl Hein. Apologies to him there. I mean, I think so. Karl Hein, just quickly, is his contract up this summer or next
No,
summer?
no, I think he's got a couple. He signed a new deal before he went off last year, so he's still got a couple
Right.
of years left at Arsenal now. But he's had a very good season despite the relegation. He's played every single game. So what's he going to want to do next season? Does he really want to go back to sitting on the bench, playing a few games for the under 23s? Probably not. He's an international goalkeeper now. So yeah, they'll have to work out what to do with him as well. That's just what I'm thinking. Maybe if you could offer him the actual number two job for a season, give him some cup games so he gets some minutes and he's always in around the first team. That could be something that's enough for him to say, okay, I'll stick around for a season. That would allow Garcia to spend the season elsewhere. But I think Arsenal fans as well, if you're spending 25 million on a goalkeeper and then sending him immediately out on loan, might not go down too well when that money could have been invested elsewhere in the attack. So yeah, so it's a fine balancing act for the club.
Yeah, and with Hein as well, like you say, if he goes into that number two spot next season, like I say, there's Tommy Setford, Lucas Nygaard, Jack Porter, quite a few teenage goalkeepers in the ranks, and it seems Tommy Setford is the closest to taking that step up to the first team. I think if I remember correctly, he played against Preston in the cup last
Preston, yeah.
season. That's the one, yeah. He's what, 18, 19 now. So is there the possibility that he could take that step up to number two or maybe a low next season? What do you think might happen with him?
I think Setford needs a loan next season. I think that's the plan for him will be to go out on loan. He's still very, very young, and it's different with a goalkeeper, isn't it? Sort of trusting an 18-year-old outfield player, it feels easier to do than trusting an 18-year-old goalkeeper. If something was to happen to David Raya, unfortunately, it didn't happen this season. But if something was to, like, you think of was it Kelleher for Liverpool this season, because Alisson missed a lot of that season, but in Kelleher they had a real top quality number two could come in and make sure that Alisson wasn't missed that much. If David Raya had missed those amount of games that Alisson did, I think we'd have been pretty worried given what we saw from Neto in the couple of games when he did come into the side. And that was an experienced goalkeeper we're talking about. But if it's going to be like an 18, 19-year-old kid, then that is a worry. So I do think it's an important position in the squad. It's one you need to get right, the number two, just for the protection factor if something was to happen to Raya. And I think someone like Setford, is far too young for him. So a loan would definitely be best for him.